relies on the person who's the victim to actually be complicit in some way and to actually unwittingly assist the perpetrator. So I'll speak in a moment, but there's a lot of, in setting yourself up to be safe and secure with electronic banking, and as we go into mobile phones being the new thing, and you know, that's your computer, there's some rules in setting yourself up, and there's obviously software, but if you follow the rules, that's the key sort of part of it. Just in looking at this, there's probably some things that I've taken out of it, so I'll go through that quickly just for people with mobiles. But we spoke about the netcode SMS and the token, so that's something that it's an extra layer of security basically, and that protects your money from going anywhere, which I think for most of us that's probably the key thing, or the biggest thing. And as far as your net banking itself, there's an automatic timeout period. So if you're at work, you walk away from your workstation, you're logged in at work, it's going to log you out. It reduces risk of, or you could be overseas at an internet cafe. It's going to reduce the risk there of anyone doing anything on there. And of course, you've got a password lockout if you're to unsuccessfully attempt to go in that way. There's also a log of your NetBank activity. So if you've got, or I might have been myself, I might have stolen Paul's, I had Paul's stuff, he can see someone's been in there all morning and he's not been in there, so he can actually see on his activity log what's happening on his NetBank. We spoke about the emails that are automatically generated. There's also a message. The first thing you see when you log in is some messages that are there, and they'll tell you all the most recent things that have actually happened within your net banking as well. So just the steps in setting yourself up for internet banking or your computer, and also with your mobile phone. You know, it can be a little bit complicated and tricky to get that right, but if you get that right to start with, it's generally pretty safe and secure and a good experience. You know, these days people will get hold of things and they're not exactly sure. You can actually get things online. You don't have someone to explain things to you, but through the powers of Google and Wikipedia and so forth these days, we have that type of information that we can gather 24/7. So certainly if you're not sure of something, you can get that information. Every computer should really have the internet security package that protects you from financial crimeware, and the basic thing, at its most basic, is the antivirus software, which just prevents somebody from damaging your computer, the anti-spyware, which protects monitoring of what you're doing, and the firewall actually prohibits information going in and out of your computer and the unauthorised access itself. With the mobile banking, people need to be aware going forward from here that their phone's not just a phone anymore. It's like a wallet, and it's exactly like your computer. So a lot of people in early days would not have a password on their phone. They wouldn't have a PIN. I think now I certainly see a lot more people going around with the PIN number on their phone. And if the phone was to be lost or dropped or what have you, that's probably one of the things that's a concern. And I've got some guidelines here that the Federal Police has issued around the use of your mobile phone and what you should basically make sure of, and that is that you've got a password on your phone and you've got a PIN for your SIM card. You don't rely on factory default settings. It means that they can't take your SIM out of your phone, put it in another phone and actually do bad stuff with it. You set it up to automatically lock after it hasn't been used for a few minutes. Something that's coming now is encryption. So I spoke about encryption, data encryption. Some phones now will allow you to encrypt it. Sometimes there's third-party software on there that'll do that. And this can be applied both to the removable memory card, so the little SD card that you pop in there to give it more memory, or just the memory that the phone has that's built in. So both of those. Also, security software is coming in just for phones, so or is already in just for phones. So same as with the apps, new apps keep coming in for different devices, similar sort of thing. They suggest that we try to stay with reputable websites and mobile applications, of course. Be careful when allowing third-party applications to access your personal information. So that includes access to your location. I think this has been in the media a little bit where it's very easy to track. And that's not a good security thing, to be able to be tracked by your phone. Probably good for the user to know exactly where they are, and it's good for maps and things like that. Same as with the PC, not clicking on unsolicited or unexpected links, even if they appear to be from friends. Checking your phone bill for unusual data charges. Phone operating systems, the same as the latest version of iTunes, the latest version of what have you, to update, keep up with those regular updates, because as you know, they're always improvements, and they actually are usually security enhancements as well. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so this is something that is used quite a lot now. That's something that they suggest to be careful with, and they suggest using encrypted networks that require passwords, not and rather than an unsecured Wi-Fi network. And I don't think that's something that I've sort of seen, but they say to turn the Bluetooth off when you're not using it, back your data up regularly. If you do change your phone, you can delete all the personal information from the phone. So there is an option to reset to factory settings, I think it is. So that will actually take all the information off of your phone. And of course, you probably take out your SD card, your memory card. If you were to lose your phone, they're actually bringing in things like the ability to remotely wipe the information from your phone. So your actual phone provider will be able to do that. So that's probably going forward something that's going to be a good thing as well. I've just got a little bit of, I'll go a little bit into the direction of banking, and then we can come back to some questions maybe on the security side. We have touched on this earlier, but you've got to get the crystal ball out a little bit with this stuff, because I spoke, you know, there are some things that we thought would come in and go really fast, and we've sort of wound the clock back a little bit on them, and like with having cash, and you know, some things that we know will happen and are happening now, I can talk about, and you know, the further capability within net banking and on, say, on the website, to be able to, you know, some of the contactless processes for opening accounts, applying for loans, insurance, and those sorts of things, they're already happening. They will probably be more so. You know, it's about identification. We have very strict rules in Australia around identification, around privacy. You know, as soon as things come in, and we spoke about passwords and things earlier, if something comes in that is a very good way of ensuring that you're dealing with that person, you can be rest assured that you know, pretty much anything will be able to be done online as far as the bank's processes. You know, people will still want to come in and see us, and Paul spoke about we're still going to have branches for sure. They may look a little bit different, and they may be smaller. One thing that we're looking at the moment is prototypes of branches that have built-in video conferencing, and that is actually happening now at the moment, where if you're, say, because of the vastness of Australia, if you're a customer that lives out on a cattle station, and you've got, we have a financial planner or a business banker in Toowoomba, they can do some video conferencing with that person without having to travel, you know, get in a car for 6 or 7 hours, or get on a little, you know, Plummet Airways flight to Charleville or something to go out Western Queensland to see somebody for an hour. So that's probably something that would definitely be on the cards to be more and more so, and that's a convenience thing for everybody, and allow us to do business a lot faster. We spoke about point of sale and the iCarts. You know, that'll probably be something that'll, it could really take off, and we also spoke about, you know, 20 different passwords. Well, something that we're seeing in the current generation is people consolidating and integrating everything onto one thing, and you know, with the mobile phone. So, you know, maybe the card's out and the mobile phone's in, and everything's on the mobile phone. You know, Kaching works in with Facebook, so it could be that, you know, in 10 or 15 years, people doing everything from one point, and that's, I guess, that's their social life and their banking and everything else, and that, you know, who knows how far that'll go, whether it'll go to that extent or not, we don't know, but we do definitely know that it's going to play a part in it all, because it already is, in bits and pieces it already is.